Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Attaining the Second Cognition. I'm Endall Beall. This is going to be another one of my impromptu, unscripted, off-the-cuff presentations. This one's called Gonna Doers, Gotta Doers, Triers, Motivation, and Momentum. I'm going to share some observations that I've taken in over the years watching people trying to work with their advancement processes. The first thing I notice is that there's a lot of gonna doers. The gonna doers are the ones that are always going to do something, but just quite never seem to get around to it. They can make lists of all the things they're going to do, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that, and the only thing they ever really get done is when they get their back against a wall and have to do what they're gonna do. The next group that I've noticed are the gotta doers. Now the gotta doers, they're real similar to the gonna doers. Whereas the gonna doers talk about doing stuff and never really do anything, the gotta doers are really great for starting things. So they create their list of gotta do's. And they're really great at starting. They gotta do this, so they start doing this. And then they gotta do something else, and then they start doing that. And then they gotta do something else, and they start doing that. So what the gotta doers wind up doing is creating a gigantic stack of things that they have begun that they always gotta do. And sometimes in there, their gotta do's, like with the gonna do's, get finished because they have to be finished. But what doesn't require being finished is always sitting there in a pile is gotta do. They're great at starting, but not very good at finishing. So the gotta doers don't have the focus to finish, but they have great focus to start. They just don't know when to stop starting and start finishing. Now then you have the triers. The triers are the ones that are always trying and always complaining about trying. Seems no matter what they do, they're trying. Oh, I'm trying. And all the time they're trying, they're not really doing. Trying becomes an excuse for not doing. So while they're continually trying, nothing is getting done. And they justify it in their minds that they're trying. But most of the time, they're not really trying. They're just lying to themselves because they're trying. They're not really trying at all, because trying something to perform something results in doing. Now, if you aren't doing anything, but you're whining about how hard you're trying, then you're not really trying to do anything. You're just lying to yourself saying, well, I'm trying. Well, how much are you really trying if you're not doing? And ask yourself this question. What's the difference between trying and doing? If you're not trying to do something, you're just claiming to be trying, then you're just making excuses to yourself. You're lying to yourself that you're trying when you're actually not putting forth any effort at all. And triers and gonna doers and gotta doers all wind up spinning their wheels. They always have a little bit of something in motion, but the motion doesn't go very far. So, gonna do, gotta do, try, it all winds up being excuses. It's a matter of personal internal self-justification about why we don't get something done. If we're not doing, then we're trying, or we're gonna do, or we gotta do, but we don't actually try to do anything. We just talk about it and think about it and whine about it. So now let's talk about motivation. We have people like Tony Robbins is a great motivational speaker. And people go to Tony Robbins seminars and they he stirs them up and they get all rah-rah and yeah, let's go do this. And they get this great motivation that might last until they get home, or it might last a couple of days until they get back to their real life. And all of a sudden this motivation evaporates. And they don't know why they can't do what they want to do, what this motivational speaker inspired them to be motivated about, because they don't have any personal motivation. They need someone with a cattle prod up their ass to make them motivated to do anything. In like kind, you have the people that are also looking for spiritual motivation, which is considered inspiration. So they go to the New Age seminars and they listen to these inspirational speakers and they get their heads filled with all these mystical ideas and how they can be inspired to achieve all this mystical hogwash that never in all of human history has really come about. But they're inspired. It makes them feel good. And they go home and they feel good about it. Oh, it might last a week or so. But inspirational talks are sort of like motivational talks. Pretty soon, you get back in your real life and all of this feel-good inspiration evaporates. Just like that motivational feeling evaporates. So they wind up right at square one. What do they do next? Well, they either go to another feel-good or motivational seminar so they can get another rah-rah cheerleader rally to spark some motivation in themselves, or they'll run out and they'll buy the next New Age book to get that inspiration and just keep plugging themselves away because they don't have the personal motivation to do anything unless someone pokes them to do it. This is why people have been in these spiritual paths for 20 or 30 fucking years and they haven't moved an inch forward. Because they're always gonna do, gotta do, trying, or need motivation from an external source. If you want to succeed in this path, you have to be your own motivator. You have to take the wheel and command of your own fucking life and quit making excuses and quit looking for outside sources to poke you in the ass to do what you should be able to do on your own. If you do not have this internal motivation, don't even fucking try. Don't come up with gonna do's, gotta do's because you don't have the motivation internally to do what you think you want to do. So just give it up. Move on, go live life, and quit worrying yourself with gonna do's, gotta do's, trying, and motivation. If, however, you do have this internal drive, this motivation, then you have to keep the momentum. Momentum means when you have something motivating you that it provides momentum for itself to continue. When one acquires momentum, they don't need a constant prod. They become their own motivator. They supply their own momentum to achieve what they are seeking to attain. They don't need inspirational feel-good stuff. They don't need to gonna do it or gotta do it or try at it. You just do it for Christ's sake. If you don't have the motivation to do it, then don't do it. But for Pete's sake, quit lying to yourself that you're going to do it, you got to do it, you're trying to do it, or you got the motivation when you don't have the motivation. If you don't have the motivation, why are you farting around with it? And if you do have the motivation, then quit gonna do, gotta do, and trying and start doing. Inspire your own motivation, set your own momentum, and make it happen. Quit talking about it and do it. Because if you're not doing, you're not doing. That's kind of the message I wanted to relate today. For all of those that are working on this process, stay the course and don't give up on yourself. Till next time, this is Endall Beall. Take care.